Here is a text that I wrote about fears. It's 4 a.m. in Paris. She's walking, shoes in hands. His blazer hugs her shoulders. She twirls in her silky red dress, laughing. Rose cheeks, bright smile in brighter eyes. Twinkle, twinkle, little stars. She stares at him with adoration. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's Paris, or maybe it's this moment here with him feeling absolutely calm, as though the world has stopped turning. She turns to him. He smiles, but she notices the sadness in his eyes. She'll never tell. What are you so afraid of when it comes to love? In a sense that is inevitable, and that you won't see me again. I think your secret will be safe with me. He laughs and says, only if you go first. Okay, let's see. Well, imagine a child, right? Their needs are seen as too much, or it feels that way. As though it's unsafe to express their needs and their feelings, unless they express it with anger, and therefore, and only then, are they heard and still considered too much, exaggerating, dramatic. So what happens to a child who is told that their feelings are invalid and too much? Well, what happens when those parents are both emotionally unavailable in different ways? You get a child who becomes hyper-independent, afraid to come across as needy, afraid to open up to others because the pain of being rejected is just too much to handle, and therefore the child pushes people away first. They test them. See, I told you. I knew that you didn't love me, that you couldn't handle me. I don't need anyone. And that is the heartbreaking part, because it is quite the opposite, isn't it? And admitting out loud that you want or would love to need someone is terrifying. The desire to feel needed and wanted, or desired and appreciated for the messiness and chaos of your core and everything that is ugly of you that everyone seems to reject. What happens if you feel safe enough to open up and finally admit it out loud and still get rejected? You ask yourself, well, what was the point of being vulnerable? Now a stranger walks with my deepest, darkest secret in the palm of their hands. My heart just ripped out. And that is the sad truth. Being told that you're too much and feeling like you're not enough. And yet, telling yourself that you are more than enough. And it's why it's a paradox, isn't it? That duality of human feelings, and that's why I have a hard time opening up and being vulnerable. But right now, in this moment with you, I feel like there's nothing I could say that would make you hate me or run away. I feel like you would just understand and accept that. And I've never told anyone this. Not out loud, at least. Not to my therapist. Not in those words. Because I feel sometimes as though being this passionate and sensitive person is drowning me. And God, I don't want to be needy. But what do you do with all this love that's burning inside of you? So much love to give and receive. It feels like torture. Because being such a romantic, hopeless person in a world that cares not to show that they do care, in a world that doesn't seem to want romance, or it pretends like that's not exactly what they want, to be naked, not physically, but emotionally, with someone and feel accepted. I think we're cowards, afraid to say what we're thinking or feeling and to go after what we want. And obviously not everyone is like that. Some people are just braver than others in that sense, but I am definitely a coward in that way. As much as I would like to admit that I would rip my heart out for the people that I love and that I would die for them and fight for them until there's no point of doing so, it is a horrifying thing to say out loud to someone that you don't know. That I want a love that consumes me, that keeps me guessing, that challenges me and pushes me to my limit every day in a good way, that is soft, calm, sexy, hot, dangerous, yet safe. I don't need someone to complete me. I don't want someone to complete me. I just want someone to see me for who I truly am at the core of everything, the ugly, and to say, you are so much, but you can be so much more. And for that, I love you, and I see you, and I encourage you, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone and be brave and continue to go after what you want and remind me of who I am as I remind them of who they are. That is what I'm afraid to say. But I'm sick of being scared. And I'm sick of playing games. And I'm sick of pretending that I don't care. And I'm sick of nonchalance. I think when it comes to the truest form of love, you owe it to yourself to be exactly your most authentic self. Because that is the only way that you can find a love that is just so.